I'm Steve. Hope you're doing just awesome today. We're going to go back to the 1960s with 5 classic intros from the Monkees. That was I'm a Believer. I've got Jimi Hendrix. What else? I got the Byrds and the Beatles. And the last song, I'm going to count down from 5 to number 1. Number 1 is probably the most famous song of the entire 1960s, I think. So let me know what you think, whether you like my order, and I'm just going to shut up. Let's get to these lessons. Let's kick it off here at number 5. This is I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. This one's a lot of fun. It's in G major, but that beginning part starts with a C to a D right there. Bar chord like that. So a C major bar chord to a D major bar chord. That's the 3rd fret of the A string and 5th fret of the D and G and B strings if you want to. And then move it up 2 frets to that D. So you go. And if you want to pick like this, low, high right there. Or you could do, if you want to, C major, D, just regular. And when you go to the D major, you just play some blues right there, open D string, and then 2nd fret to the 4th fret, back and forth on that G string. Now, if you want to, you can keep this blues shape here and go. Use your pinky to do the same blues up there, but the easy way is to go to that D major. Oh yeah, to G major. At number 4, we got this catchy one from the Lovin' Spoonful. This one's pretty sweet. It's in G major as well, but you've got a capo on the 2nd fret. And you strum that G major from the top down. Give it that kind of pick right there, and then go like this. Open G string, 6th fret of the D string, but when you do that, you leave the G string ringing open. Then you go to the 4th fret of the D, back to the 6th fret, and now open D and G together. 4th fret, 6th fret of the D string, while all the time hitting that G open like that. So it goes like this. And you can tell right there I hit the B string, not a problem. Strum a G chord again, do it again. Same thing we just did. And then after that, you lay this finger down flat into an A major position, so you're on the 4th fret of the D, G, and B strings. You probably don't try to hit that high E string, but you put this finger back on the 6th fret of the D string and hit the open A string. So it goes. So you sort of strum that out and then open G string and now play a regular A major. So this goes like this. Hit the low notes like that. If you want to, you can do that. So one more time. Back to the A major. At number 3, it's Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower. With a capo on the 3rd fret, so we've gone up 1 fret with that, and you start with the G major as well and go, give it a 2 good hits, and you're gonna do some palm muting in this one, then do an A minor and palm mute again. So you got to get that sort of staccato to get the beginning, the iconic intro of this song before he starts rocking on the Stratocaster. So one more time. Now you go back to the G twice, to the F major, back up to the G, G major, A minor, G major, F major, G, and that's really what the song does the whole time. It must be somebody out of here. So A minor, G, F, but that rocking part goes like this. G, F, back to the A minor. At number 2, the capo is off, and we're going to play the one I showed you at the beginning, I'm a Believer by the Monkees. Wouldn't you know it, we end up back in G major like so many of these things right here. So, G major, I thought love was D, only true and fair at times. I've got a 3-minute lesson on this song, but you start off here on the open G string, like that, and then hit the 3rd fret of the B string and 1st fret of the high E string. And so go like that. Then take those off and put the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string and hit the open E string. And then play a G major, like that. So you can do a whole G major, like that, or like that. And then you instantly go to this one's not that hard. You go to the 3rd fret of the low A string, or the A string, hammer it onto the 5th fret, and then because you've got this finger here, you're on the 3rd fret of the D string. So practice that. 3rd of the 5th, hammer on the A string, to the D string, right there on the 3rd fret. And so the 3rd one does it quicker like that. Do it 2 more times, and then go to G major. I thought love was only true in fairy tales. And at number 1, I told you it's probably the most famous song of the entire decade, Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds. It's in D major. Now I did the whole song, if you want to check out that lesson, on a video I did on the Forrest Gump soundtrack. I showed you 3 amazing songs all the way through, but let's just do the intro. You want to hit the low 3 notes of the D major chord. So play a D major, but just take off this finger right here off the high E string, like that, and go like this. So you're really emphasizing those notes and ending on the 3rd fret of the B string. And when you do that, then hit the open E, because it's ringing open, and right when you hit it 1 time, transition to a G major, like that. So you're playing a regular G major, but instead of that finger being on the 3rd fret of the high E string, it's on the 3rd fret of the B string with that open high E string ringing out. So check this out. One more time. Then you do this little walk down. Just put that finger on the 2nd fret of the low E string 1 time, and then play an E minor. You're really just hitting the low notes of an E minor, not really the high stuff, but you can leave this finger here the whole time. And then you go to an A major, but it's sort of like a D major and an A major combined on top of each other, because this finger is still on the 3rd fret of the B string, and this is laying on the 2nd fret of the D, G, B, and high E strings. And again, because you got that on the 3rd fret of the B string, it goes like this, like that. And right after hitting that 1 time, you go to a regular A major, and you start it over again. So slow. And now fast, regular speed. And again, I got a full lesson on that, to everything, turn, turn, turn. Check out my lesson from January 26th on the Forrest Gump soundtrack. It's amazing. All right, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. Tell me if you agree with my rankings and my number 1 choice, and I'll catch you around the channel. See ya.